Okay, what's up, everybody? So, tonight I'm here to talk to you about land trust, how land trusts work with real estate. Now, mind you guys, we do real estate a different way. We do it by becoming the bank. All right. Did you even know that you can buy investment properties by taking over the existing mortgage? You don't have to qualify for debt, fill out credit applications, any of that stuff. It's changed my entire life. So that's why I'm here on YouTube giving you guys some of the knowledge that I have spent countless hours, man. Even for this trust knowledge, I've flown around the country talking to some experts, some of the big dogs, and I've been able to implement it in my real estate business that right now, honestly, is doing pretty well. So thanks for joining me, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right. And if you feel like I bring you some value, I want you to consider subscribing, or you can just be a player about it. Hit that subscribe button, man. Let's go.
I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. Hustle to the end. We some no-quitters. Knock it out the park. We for show hitters. Right, left hemisphere. That's a dome splitter. Yeah. We control our own destiny. Make moves. Cultivate whole legacy. Creative finance. Bring more ecstasy. The right ingredients. Now that's a dope recipe.
Okay, what's good, everybody? So tonight I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects. All right, land trust. We always buy our properties in land trust. Now, this is the thing. You guys know that my channel is here to bring you the actionable knowledge that you need to get these deals done. All right. And I've been in the lab for a while. I just flew back from Atlanta interviewing the legendary Lou Brown himself. All right. Founder of Street Smart Investing Systems and certified affordable housing providers. All right. Also, I'm flying down to, God, where is it? Alabama, but I keep forgetting where it is. Not Montgomery, Birmingham. Boom. I don't even know where I'm flying out to. Birmingham, Alabama, January 7th. All right. I'm just going to be there from the 7th to the 8th to do a real estate boot camp with some heavy hitters down there. Multifamily, Johnny Lynham, $5 million portfolio. One of his students that got 50 doors this year, I believe, on some multi-unit deals. Some other appraisers, inspector, real estate agent, all in one. He's got all three of those certifications, and he does new developments, new housing developments. So I'm down there as a headliner to talk about this stuff. And I'm definitely going to give them some game on the trust, but I'm about to give you guys some game tonight. All right. So if you guys got questions, I want you to leave your questions in the comments. All right. And put where you're from too. All right. Because I'm a small town Iowa guy. I love to know where people are from. I'm in the boonies, eating in the cornfields, getting to it, man. So tonight we're talking about land trust. Now, this is the thing. Why would you want to use a land trust? Well, let me first say this. I talked to real estate professionals. Okay, I wanted to say realtors and real estate investors, but real estate professionals all around the country, and not a lot of them use land trusts. All right. Now, hey, I'm not going to push my beliefs on anyone else, but facts do speak for themselves. All right. So a lot of people will get the advice of buy your properties in an LLC and then set up a separate LLC for each property with a separate bank account and all. We ain't doing that. I mean, I guess you could do that, but that's a lot of bank accounts and LLCs, and LLCs still leave you susceptible in some ways. So also I've heard people just say, well, just put it in an LLC. And then once you sell that property, you think you're safe. Well, if you continue operating in that LLC, right? Say you do a transaction, you own a house for a little while, do a fix and flip or something like that. You sell that house and then you keep that same LLC. So now that house has nothing to do with your LLC anymore. However, your LLC is on the records, right? Especially as the last owner. Well, a couple years down the road, you own 10 houses in that LLC. Somebody sues that prior house, that situation that you were involved in. They go after that LLC. Guess what they can attach to it? Those 10 houses that you now own. So we do it completely different, guys. We do it completely different. This is the way that the wealthy and the elite are operating. All right. I want to make sure you guys can hear me, man. Last time I had a problem with this microphone. Can you guys hear me? Put a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear me, man. I tested it a couple of times, so I want to make sure. I don't even know who's on here tonight. So I'm going to get right to it. Let me, why isn't this sharing anymore? Oh, yeah, I went out of there. So, guys, I'm going to give you guys some game. All right. I got some slides ready. Well, my assistant got some slides ready because I'm not the greatest with this stuff. I spend all my time doing the archaic stuff, like reading. You know, it helps. Yes, you can hear me. Great, great, great. Okay, cool, cool. Thanks, Zinkster, Kadena. Hey, okay, Eliano, what's up? What's up? Okay, okay, let's change that screen name, Eliano. Lord have mercy. Okay, land trust and revocable trust. Now, listen to me, guys. First off, land trust and revocable trust, living revocable trust, are pretty much the same thing. There are 6 states out of the 50 that are not land trust states. I happen to live in one of those states, Iowa. Okay, Iowa's a living revocable trust state. They do not recognize land trust. However, they're the same thing. So I know the documentation that I use, and this is just me. And remember, guys, this is for educational purposes only. All right. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a realtor. I am a certified affordable housing provider, and we do operate in trust. Okay. But seek the advice of a professional. This is just what we do. I have beat several professionals too, just so you know. So living revocable and a land trust. Now with me, all I do, guys, I mean, this is what you can do is just, if you're in a living revocable trust state, you got my paperwork, say for an example, you just switch out revocable and put land. Everywhere it says revocable, you just put land. Okay. Land trust, revocable trust. You just swap those 2 words out, means the exact same thing. So why we buy with a land trust. All right. There are a number of reasons, but people like to sue. People like to sue nowadays for whatever reason. And the thing is, right, land trust, there's a lot of benefits. All right. One of those is the anonymity. Okay. So I'm going to actually read you some definitions. I'm going to read you some definitions here. And this is from the Barron's Real Estate Dictionary. If you ain't got one, get you one. Okay. Because that has all the terms that you need. So first, what is a trust? A trust is an arrangement whereby property is transferred to a trusted third party, trustee, by a grantor, and that's the trustor. So the grantor is the person that, grants the trust, opens the trust. The trustee holds the property for the benefit of another, the beneficiary. I'm going to get into those as well. I'm going to get into those in a little bit, though. All right. So that's what a trust is. It's just a way to hold title to a property. It's an entity. All right. So this is why the wealthy and the elite use trust, because it is almost a living, breathing entity that is separate from them. And it takes the bullets for them. It takes the bullets for them. The only thing at risk is the assets owned in that trust, which is why me personally, and some of the big dogs that I know, will have a separate trust for each property. Separate trust, not separate bank accounts. We have a whole nother strategy for that. You only need one bank account, and it's beautiful. But separate trust for each property. Okay. And you don't know who the beneficiary of that trust is. That's where the anonymity comes in. Now, we're not trying to run from anybody. We're not ducking anybody. All right. This isn't to duck taxes or anything like that. No, it is merely the most powerful way that you can own assets. Also, there's a lot of tax benefits for this as well, right? With land trust. So if a person goes to sue you, right? Say you went from the LLC strategy to a trust strategy. All right. Well, a person goes to sue you. They go to an attorney and they say, hey, Mr. Attorney, I want to sue Gene Boykin. He did this, that, whatever. The attorney is going to say, okay, well, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to do a little research. The attorney is going to look up my name and see what I own. Now, just if you were an attorney, okay, and you look up a person and you think you got a case and you look them up and they have a ton of assets in their name, you probably start salivating, like, your mouth is watering because you see a big meal sitting there. So if you have a lot of assets under your name, an LLC attached to your name, the attorney is going to go back to the person that came in and said, yeah, I'll take your case. Now, normally my retainer is $10,000, but I'll work on a contingency basis and I'll take a percentage of the winnings that I get you if I win anything, because they know they take that, what is it? I think it's 30% of their winnings. Well, yeah, if you got all these unlimited assets over here, 30% comes out to be a lot more than that $10,000 retainer, right? But say you own in a trust. Now the attorney looks your name up. They don't see that you own anything. You look my name up. Look my name up on public record, please. I don't own a thing. I'm poor. I am. I'm poor. Gene Boykin, the person, the name, all that, I'm poor. I'm broke. Broke is a joke, as a matter of fact. Now, there may be some trusts laying around, somewhere that have some assets in them. I don't know anything about that. All right. It's powerful. Now, it gives you layers of protection as well, right? Those are those layers I was talking about, because there's the trust. Okay, that's one layer. And then the next is the trustee. The trustee. And who is the trustee, you might ask, right? Now, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that a little bit, but that trustee is an important position. Okay. It's an important position because I'm going to dive into it. But a trustee, you got to trust them. You want them to have a different last name than you, so that trust, a person couldn't look and say, oh, yeah, that's the living revocable trust. Well, and I see trusts like that all the time. When I look up properties in my city, I'll see, for example, the Gene Boykin Living Revocable Trust. And I'm like, well, that's it. But that person, now sometimes I've looked those properties up and that person has been dead for generations, right? But they're passing down wealth, man. Passing down wealth, because when you have a trust and you have assets in a trust, when you die, which we all die, your assets don't go into probate court, because guess what? You don't own any assets. Your trusts own them. And then you just pass those assets on to your successor of beneficial interest. So it stays out of probate court. They don't have to pay that big equity tax, that inheritance tax, that estate tax, this tax, that tax. Oh my goodness. Oh, Kadena says 33 and a third. Ooh, they take a third? Oh, them dirty dogs. Now, hey, I love you, lawyers. I love attorneys. Okay. Without attorneys, we wouldn't have trust and all that good stuff. But they're the ones who wrote this stuff, guys. So this is the thing. Operating like this is very powerful. Very powerful. I had gotten a call from an attorney a few months back, and he had no idea, no clue what he was stepping into. None. Plus, the public records website wasn't updated, so it still had a name as ownership on there. Next day, though, after I told him, hey, you need to do some more research than just looking on a website that isn't updated before you call me acting crazy. You serious? I let him know, because I knew. Bad Siri came on. I knew I was protected. I knew I was protected. All these layers of protection. I wasn't tripping. And we even throw another layer on that at the end, but that's high level. Okay. You got to crawl before you walk. And I want to say this to you guys. Okay. Have you guys ever heard of the law of entropy? The law of entropy. Anything left to itself, it will go towards disorder. The law of entropy. It's a law. It's a law of nature. Anything left to itself will go towards disorder. It's just like me, man. I got to start working out again. I got a dad bod. You know what I mean? And I used to be skinny as I don't know what, man. 6-pack, all that cut up, everything. I couldn't even gain weight for nothing. I used to try, man, eat all types of junk food. Couldn't even do it. Well, guess what? Entropy set in on my ass. Set in, man. Anything left to itself will go towards disorder. Okay, so your mind works the same way. If you want to learn about this stuff, I'm going to start giving you guys the basics, the boiled down basics, especially in the academy, so that you guys can graduate to being affordable housing providers and jump on this ship with me. All right. Entropy, the law of entropy. So you know what defeats entropy and what gets you to your goal? This is what defeats entropy and gets you to your goal. Intention, first off, there's a couple pieces here. Intention will do that. And what is intention? I'm going to give you the technical term, right? Intention is anything that moves the needle closer to your favor, whatever your favor means. I don't even know what that might mean for any of you watching, but intention, if you want to get, you have to have intention behind that. Now, how you get there once you establish that intention is focused activity. You don't have to work harder. I mean, I'm doing a lot right now. I've been working a lot harder, but focused activity, man, I've been having myself locked in the lab. Focused activity is maximizing your activity with things that move the needle in a positive direction. It's moving it in a positive direction. I mean, so you should be, right, focused activity instead of watching TV, loving hip hop and all this stuff. Now, guys, let me get back online. Sorry, I chase rabbit holes sometimes. My apologies. Estate planning. When we're buying a house subject to buying houses by taking over the mortgage, the due on sale clause, guys, due on sale. They put that rule there to stop us from doing what makes sense. Why go get a brand new loan to pay off an old loan and then start that interest and that amortization all over again because you got a new loan? Why can't we just take over that existing loan and make those payments? The loan already exists on the property, so let's go, right? So people came to their senses and they were doing that. Well, the lobbyists and the special interests and stuff like that, they went and they created the Garn St. Germain Act. All right, it's got a lot longer name than that, but Garn St. Germain, which had the due on sale in there. But the loophole for them is the mortgage company, the lender, is prohibited from calling that loan due for estate planning when a property is transferred into a trust. Voila, right? Now, there's some technical things behind that, but that's the gist of it. Now, here's the juicy part. Are you guys with me? Are you guys with me? I want you to put some flames in the comments if you guys are with me. I think this might be going over your head here. So listen, don't let this be more complex than it is. Okay. It is simply, I want you to look at it like this. Okay. Just look at it like this. It is simply a way to hold title to a property. Think of a trust almost as an LLC, but an LLC on steroids. And if you guys didn't know, trusts are considered nonprofit. So you got that maneuverability, man. It is nuts. It's a nonprofit without doing the 50C3 thing or whatever it is, 5023, whatever it is. A trust is considered nonprofit. So we create our own trust. You got to have the proper, right? And I'm going to dive into that a little bit. And guys, don't forget to hit that like button. All right. Hit that like button. And if you're new to my channel, I want you to consider subscribing if you feel like I bring you some value. All right. I'm here on a Saturday night for y'all, man. I've been studying all day. I'm a nerd, dude. I keep my nose in the books, man. And some of these books aren't even books. You can't even find some of this stuff, man. It had to be mined from somebody's mind. And then they were gracious enough to put that on paper or in a form where other people could, get that content, right? Watch that content, learn that content. You know what? I get calls from people all over the country, guys. You won't believe it. Guys, I was just mowing lawns 2 years ago, working at a landscaping company. Now I had educated myself in real estate, right? But then I found this strategy. Now, though, I get people that call me from all over the country. And they call me because, one, the market is shifting and there's a lot of wholesalers out there. So it's hard to get a wholesale deal now with prices dropping because you got to get it under market value anyway if you're a wholesaler. So they're starting towards creative strategies and they don't know how to do them. They don't know how to do them. And they will get themselves in a load of trouble trying to do these creative strategies without having the proper documents and without doing them in the proper order. Man, I had somebody call me yesterday and you said it, Kadena. You absolutely said it. Must always be a student. Deborah, I see your question there. Put where you're from, Deborah. Put where you're from. I'm a small town Iowa guy. Got to know. I got to. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna get to you though, Deborah. So I have a guy call me, and he was doing a lot of wholesaling around the country, doing pretty well too, I might add. He has a mentor that, you know, has a pretty decent name out there in wholesaling as mentors go, I guess. So he calls me though, and I was getting ready to go to Atlanta. So I said, hey, he emailed me, I think. Yeah, he did. He emailed me, and I messaged him back, you know, because I was on his YouTube channel and some more stuff. So, you know, we're cool. So I was like, hey, I'm heading to Atlanta. I don't have any time right now. Is it an urgent situation? If it is, I can call you when I'm at the airport, you know. Oh, no, it's not urgent. So I'm like, cool, I'll call you when I get back. I had forgot about him, emailed him yesterday. Anyway, we get on the phone and he says, I have a subject to deal in a whole nother state. I'm not going to put all the details out there, in a whole nother state. And I'm like, really? I was like, okay, so what kind of paperwork did you? He's like, well, we signed the contract. And I'm like, whoa, okay, you signed a contract, but was it a subject to contract? And he says, well, I added that to the special terms box. And I'm like, well, I guess I've never seen it done like that. But I also asked him, did you put it in a trust? And he's like, well, no, I didn't plan on it. And there's a lot to the story. He wants to take over the mortgage and then do the remaining equity on seller financing, right? Because he's going to pay the seller 50 grand and put 10 down and then pay off the other 40,000, right? And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. I said, with my contracts, you can just have that all in your subject to contract. And I said, he was going to do a wrap and all time. And he didn't even know how to do any of that. And I said, you don't have to do any of that anyway. All you do is, you know, have it in your contract and then you create a note for the other 40,000. Voila, you know, you're good. But so I'm like, well, what's up, man? What can I do? He said, well, you know, the contracts and, you know, if you could help me through it. And I'm like, brother, brother, you want me to just volunteer my time? It's already spread thin because we're building things here. I got the GoGetter family. Like, wow, how could you even ask a person that? And I'm considered one of the leading experts in this in the country. Now, I know, you know, that I'm not, right? I don't think that I am anyway, because I know some big dogs. But to one, if you want to learn something, cool. But what are you going to invest in yourself? Or what value are you bringing to the other party? So when I just couldn't believe it, but I knew that he was headed towards disaster, man. And I don't want to see it, but I just don't have time because my time is devoted to, you know, the GoGetter family, my inner circle students, especially, and then me and my family, you know what I mean? It's just nuts. Let me dive back into this. Okay. So guys, be careful out there. All right. If you don't know what you're doing, if you get in the GoGetter Family Academy, see, this is what I love about the Academy. It's $29.99 a month, man, a half a tank of gas. And you get the subject to contract packet with 6 contracts in there. I use that on my first couple of subject to deals, those exact contracts. But if you're in the Academy and you're in something that deep, like the guy that I talked to yesterday, well, guess what? You can bring it to the Academy. You can put it in our community, see what we can do with you. We've got my inner circle students are in there. I'm in there, right? But you got to be part of a community, a group. Otherwise, if you're out here trying to do this as a lone wolf, there's going to be some costly mistakes. Let's just say that, okay? So if you can mitigate those, why wouldn't you? Okay. Land trust documents. Now, first off, you need the land trust itself, right? The land trust or the living revocable trust. Okay. And again, guys, you just rearrange those words. You move, if you're in a land trust state, then you put land trust in front of it. If it's a living revocable trust state, you're going to remove land. If you have my paperwork now, that's it. And then you put living revocable. Okay, that's the actual document itself, and that stipulates everything. Now, guys, listen to me. That document, that is private. You do not show anyone that document unless it is by court order. That's the only way. That is the only way that somebody has the right to look at the land trust itself and see who the beneficiaries are and what the terms of that land trust is, or any trust for that matter, is by court order. All right. And they don't even know who you are as the beneficiary. So let me get into this. This is my favorite part. Is this making sense to you guys? Deborah King says she's part of TGGF. That's what's up, Deborah. Okay. I love it. All right. Yeah. Kadena says, yes, Deborah. Yeah. I love it. From NYC, but I just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I love Charlotte. Charlotte is a great city for real estate, man. Really good and really good for, listen, guys, being a certified affordable housing provider, this is our way to kick in the door, get some of this wealth back, and to do it with integrity and a value add to both sides. Because if you're a certified affordable housing provider like I am, not only are we helping buyers, right? Because certified affordable housing providers, we're helping them get the dream, the American dream of home ownership, and to do that without having to jump through the hoops of qualifying with a lender. But also, we're helping the seller too. And the main thing is with that, if you're a realtor, you just get a commission. Now, if you're a certified affordable housing provider, you're a principal in that deal. So I'm putting something together so that you guys can come under my umbrella as a certified affordable housing provider using my tools, my back office. But you got to graduate to that level. But this is the new, I'm telling you, this is revolutionary in real estate. You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but in 5 years, oh, you best believe we're going to rewind to this video. You ask my fiance, I'm big on I told you so. For real. So let me get back to this. Sorry, guys. I get off on tangents sometimes. Standard assignment of beneficial interest. Now, that document is imperative because you've got a few principles here in this deal. You got the land trust itself. Well, you got the grantor. Okay, the grantor created the trust, the grantor. Then you have the trustee. All right, you've got the trustee. That is the person on public record. That's your bulletproof vest. That's your bulletproof vest. They're taking the bullets, right? And the best part is the trustee is not liable for anything with that trust unless they are negligent, grossly negligent for something, stealing or something like that. Well, of course, right? But anything else, somebody sues the house, the trustee's assets and bank account and stuff like that and credit are not at risk. It's just the asset itself. But the trustee is on public record. Then you have the beneficiary, who is you. And this is what a beneficiary is. A beneficiary is the person who receives or is to receive the benefits resulting from certain acts. Now, let me tell you what beneficial interests mean. Benefit resulting from an ownership position or contract. So if you have the beneficial interest, that is a benefit resulting from an ownership position or a contract. Voila. Oh, you heard it. Benefit resulting from an ownership position. We have the beneficial interest in a land trust, and that is private. So you own it. You own nothing and control everything. Own nothing, control everything. Now, so when you have your trust, when you create your trust, that assignment of beneficial interest is probably the most important document. Okay? Because that's the money. That's where the money is. Now, the appointment of land trust replacement trustee. You've got to have your trustee, but you also have to have a replacement trustee, because if something were to happen to that trustee and they're incapacitated for whatever reason, well, then who can sign for it? Now, we've got a trick that we use, right? It's not a trick, it's just a tactic, but also you want to have that successor trustee or that replacement trustee. Now, what is a trustee, you ask? A trustee is a person or firm that holds and administers property or assets for the benefit of a third party. A trustee may be appointed for various purposes, such as in the case of bankruptcy, certain types of retirement plans or pensions, or to manage assets for someone. Boom. To manage assets for someone or something. The trust itself, guys, the trust itself. Now, this was in parentheses here. Trustees are required to make decisions in the beneficiary's best interests and have a fiduciary responsibility to them, meaning they act in the best interests of the beneficiaries to manage their assets. Voila. Your trustee is a powerful position. They can sell the property, they can rent it, they can lease it, they can buy other assets, right? Using the credit from that trust, the asset in that trust. Okay. So when you get a trustee, you want to make sure that it is someone that you trust. Now, that you don't have to trust them implicitly. Okay. That's a different type of trust. And there are not many people on this earth that we can do that with, right? I don't know about you, but I don't know about me. But we have ways to protect ourselves from that as well. There's so many intricacies to real estate that when you do it at a high level, Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's like your own parallel world. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I be pleading with y'all to do this, man. I be pleading with y'all. I'm serious. I put in work right now too because I know that this is a printing press, a literal printing press, but it must be cultivated first. It doesn't just voila appear. Okay. But hey, I'll be imploring y'all to do this, man. This is where it's at. So you guys have that stuff. Let me see here. Was there anything else? Oh, the fiduciary responsibility is a legal responsibility on the trustee's part. They have a fiduciary. That's what realtors have as well. Okay. Realtors have a fiduciary. So let me answer some questions. Kadena, where you from now? You got to put that for the other viewers. I don't know where you're from, Kadena. You in the academy. So Kadena says you need a lawyer to do this for you. You can use a lawyer. Now, from what I've heard, that runs you anywhere from 1,500 up to $5,000 for a land trust. There's different types of trusts. I don't personally use a lawyer. And that's just me, okay, and my inner circle students, because we have the paperwork. And also, a lot of people don't know this, but you have to register a trust. You have to register that to get an EIN, an employee identification number. Ooh, Kadena. Ooh, Kadena is from Elizabeth, New Jersey, man. New Jersey has some of the most beautiful foreclosures next to Texas. Texas and New Jersey, and I know how to delay foreclosures in both of those states. Ooh, like it's like magic, man. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna be making some moves in New Jersey. Good state to be in, especially with trust too. There's a lot of wealthy people out there, Kadena. So a lawyer is going to charge you anywhere from about 1,500 to 5,000. But you don't need a lawyer to do it. You just have to have the proper documents and then the know-how to do it, because you've got to fill out an SS4 document. And you won't hear that. What I just told you, you won't hear that on YouTube. Filling out the SS4 to create a trust. So that way you have an EIN for your trust, a tax identification number. So you just, this studio that I'm in, yeah, I don't rent this thing. My trust does. My trust rents this place. I don't rent this place. Ain't no way. I don't do nothing in my name. Let's see, Deborah. I see you had a question up here. Okay. Deborah says, can we turn the property into a trust without the owner? No, you cannot. You've got to have the owner sign at least the trust, because they're going to be the grantor. Now, and don't quote me on this. I'll have to look this up. I don't know if you have certain power of attorney. It's like a universal power of attorney. I don't know if you can start a trust with their assets without them, right? Because you've got that universal power of attorney. Conservators, I believe, can without the owner, but don't quote me on that. Us, when we buy subject to, the seller is the grantor of the trust. And then they have the beneficial interest of the initial trust. And then all we do is assign those beneficial interests and quit claim. It's beautiful. So good question. I wouldn't do that. I would always want to have the seller or the owner be the grantor. And this is the thing, guys. You're not going to sit there and just go over every line of a trust with a person, as long as they get the gist of the situation. Because when you create confusion, that creates questions. And then when a person has questions, well, then they're more apprehensive to move forward, right? So we don't want to create confusion. Not everybody speaks this legalese of sorts, right? This real estate ease of sorts. So you want to kind of almost, and I don't want to use this term in a derogatory way, but you want to dumb it down a little bit, so that it's understandable. It was Einstein who said that unless you can explain something that a 12-year-old would understand, you don't know that thing well enough. So yes, knowing things on a high level is all great. That's all fine and dandy with big old words and all that stuff. But being able to explain it in a way that makes sense to most is when you truly know something. That's why a lot of people were attracted to me on social media, because of the way that I explain subject to and how we become the bank. I mean, it is rather easy when you think about it, right? The concept is, for sure. So, yeah, create it with the seller. Create it with the seller. Let me see here. Got another question from Kadena out of New Jersey. Absolutely. Listen, it is not a tax dodge. Okay. Well, let me just stop here. I'm gonna rewind that a little bit, Kadena, because see, there's a difference. What is it like? Not paying your taxes, that's illegal. We don't do that, and I'm not suggesting that you not pay your taxes. Right? That's illegal. However, tax avoidance is a strategy, and it's a strategy that the wealthy and really the smart people do. If you can pay less taxes, well, why wouldn't you? Right? So a trust is what's called a pass-through entity. A pass-through entity, and it passes through to the beneficiary. Okay, so if you're the beneficiary of that trust, the tax benefits pass through to you, but so do the tax implications as well. So if there's a taxable event and you are the beneficiary because you benefit from that, well then you have to pay taxes on that taxable event. Now, when you get up to a higher level, there's higher levels of trust. And one of the highest levels of trust is something called an elite trust. And those are sophisticated, but that's what the wealthy and the elite use. My mentor, Lou Brown, um, elite trust. And that's like big boy stuff. Like that's like 1%er. That's like the guy with the round of wine, a round whiskey glass and the cigar, sitting down there looking from the top of the Empire State Building down at people talking about they look like ants. Those type of people, the Rockefellers, the Kennedys, right? You guys ever heard of the Kennedy compound? That's where they got a bunch of houses in one of those eastern states, right? And the Kennedys can go live there anytime. Kennedy, and it's been around forever for them. Well, that's because none of them personally own that. They're elite trust, and that goes from generation to generation. But with an elite trust, you can kick the can down the road with those taxes on taxable events, especially with depreciation piling up over the years. I don't want to get too sophisticated here. It gets deep. I mean, how you got to ask yourself, what level do you want to learn this stuff on? Because it does get deep and it is very, very powerful. But yes, you file taxes. The trust files taxes. That's why you get that EIN. That's for the IRS. Okay, Kadena? That's for the IRS. Kadena says they dodge taxes all the time. You better believe it. They dodge taxes all the time. So guys, I hope you guys got a lot of good information about the trust. Before I forget too, the next Become the Bank challenge is January 9th through the 13th. January 9th through the 13th. If you have not attended a challenge before, it's 2023. 2023 is here, right? So if you want something different, you got to do something different. If we want 2023 to be different, well, then we've got to do some different things in 2023, which is why I didn't even have a challenge this month, the month of December, because I'm doing so much traveling. Well, guess what? I'm going to, God, why do I keep forgetting the name? I keep wanting to call it Birmingham. Oh my goodness. I'm going to Birmingham, Alabama on the 7th. I'm flying back on the 8th, and then I'm having my challenge on the 9th. So what I'm doing for this challenge though, since it's coming into the new year, is my subject to contract packet. I'm giving that as a bonus when you sign up for the VIP. Giving those as a bonus when you sign up for the VIP, because the challenge is the things that you need to learn and the information you need to have to implement this stuff and implement it on a high level, a level in which you will have success. So there's a link in the description for the 5-day challenge. Matter of fact, we had a student from the last challenge, which was in November, Joseph Montez, and he just put up a video in the group. He's got a seller already that has agreed to subject to, but he needs some help with the contracts, I believe it is. I'm like, dude, put that up in the academy. If you're not in my inner circle, I wish I could help every person that needed help. I would. Trust me, I would, because I know that benefits us, even if I did it for selfish reasons, helping everybody that I could for selfish reasons, right? Because I know that is a benefit to me. It says it in the Bible, man. It's a benefit to me and my family. But unfortunately, I can't. I just do not have the time. It's just literally impossible. I don't have the bandwidth either. But I am moving some elite people up. All right. So you guys, the challenge, it's $97 for general admission, and then the VIP, which you get a 1-hour private Q&A on a Zoom link, right, with the other VIP members. So you can ask questions for that hour each day before the challenge starts. Also, though, you get the recordings of the challenge for 24 hours. You're going to get the subject to document packet, the contracts, and then you get the VIP members area. It has like 8 to 10 hours of video from inner circle coaching sessions. So it's just a lot of extra content for you to kind of consume before the challenge starts. But I said all that to say this. You know, it's a different feeling when you actually control your life. Like it's different, dude, and not many people will get to have that experience in life, man. And I understand that, and I understand it fully now. I understand that fully now because before I didn't really have full control of my life, and I didn't even realize that. But I was working, selling my time, had all these bills and stuff like that, and I didn't realize it until I came to be unemployable. I'm not unemployed, I'm unemployable. I could never have a job again because I could never let somebody control my time. And that is a different sort of freedom. And money, guys, is just a tool to get us that freedom. Guys, I spent so much money on my education this year. It is ridiculous. But it's not, though. It's not ridiculous because I'm going to make a ridiculous amount of wealth from the knowledge that I got. I mean, I don't even want to say the numbers, man, because it is a lot. I have it to spend now because I work my way to that. But um, money is a tool. And I know that when I spend money on my education, if I swipe my credit card, what's going to happen in that moment that I swipe that credit card? Nothing. And then I know that I have 30 days to learn and devour whatever content until what happens? The first payment, not the whole thing, the first payment. So that's the way I calculate it out. I'm not even going to sit up here and try to hold you. That's the way I calculate out my funds. And like if I can invest, especially when I took chances and big risks on myself in the beginning, I would say like, okay, how much does this cost? Oh, okay, it's $3,000. How much is that minimum payment? And how many months can I pay that for? When I first spent that kind of money on my education, because I was spending sporadically to kind of get this stuff from everywhere, bits and pieces, but I didn't have a job. So I'm studying, pretty much 8 to 10 hours a day. But when I spent my first a big amount, it was 12,500. All right. And I put most of that on credit cards and I borrowed some money from a couple friends. But what I did is I knew that I had 2 months. I had 2 months of payments. Like I could make those minimum payments for 2 months with the money that I had. And I guess that was like a motivation, maybe. I don't know. Cause dude, you couldn't get me away from that information, that knowledge, reading, watching videos, man, trainings, all that stuff. So guys, I got to get up out of here. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget the link to the challenge is in the description. If you want to join the academy, check us out. Half a tank of gas for a month, and you get all kinds of game in there. A lot of live workshops. There's a lot of trainings in there now. Look at Chris. Hey, that's my that's my guy. Chris, you the man. Chris, you are the man. I appreciate you. We got to talk, man. You guys don't know Chris Haskins? That's the big homie right there. Go check him out too. But guys, I appreciate you coming in. I'm surprised to see the big homie on here, man. That's a pleasant surprise. Man, bring back some memories, man. But guys, we're bringing in the new year, right? And listen to me, all right? I do a lot of nerdy stuff, okay? I'm just a nerd. And I was looking at the law of energy. And energy, which is everything, energy is everything. Energy can neither be created nor can it be destroyed. It's only transferred from one form to another, from one form to another. So, what is inertia? Inertia is when you're just like stuck in this place, right? And you can't move out of this place. You can't get out of this place and you don't know why. Well, it's because you don't have any momentum. So what momentum are you going into 2023 with? What momentum are you going into 2023 with? And just one more thing. When you build up that momentum, right? If you feel like something isn't working for you, that's because it's working. It's just working on you at the moment. It's working on you. That's why it isn't working for you. So you've got to become the person that you need to be. So as it's working on you, you continue to be committed. You continue to push forward and you have that momentum. You have that momentum. That's that energy. We are energy, guys. All right. Don't let them new shiny objects take you off course. Don't feel like because it isn't working for you that it isn't working, because all work works. All right, guys. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that like button. And if you feel like I brought you some value, I want you guys to consider subscribing to my channel. All right. And you guys know what it is. You could just be a player about it and hit that subscribe button. But I'm out of here. Until next time, let's get to it, y'all.
I'm a go-getter.